Welcome to the Tradies in Business podcast with your hosts Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Divert your phone and grab a brew as Waz and Nick unpack tips, tales, secrets and stuff-ups from guests both inside and outside your trade, helping educate and inspire you to break the cycle of gut-busting and money stress and create a true trade business.
Hello, Oracle.
Hello, wise son.
I love the Matrix movies.
I do too, actually. They're some of my favourite. I do like a good action movie. I actually don't mind a bit of blood and guts either. I really love Tarantino films.
Ah, yeah, I don't know.
I don't mind them.
I'm a bit so-so on Tarantino.
Really?
Yeah, I loved Pulp Fiction. Bit of a, cult thingamajig. But some of them are a bit over the top, hey, I think. Just gratuitous.
In which way? Well, tell me which ones you're not sure about. I really like Reservoir Dogs.
It's so long ago since I watched it, I don't remember it. But I heard someone watching, what's his latest one with Brad Pitt? And
I haven't watched it, I'm going to be honest. I have not watched that yet. I keep holding off for the perfect time, and the perfect time has eluded me so far.
I heard a lot of it because when I was at my brother's place at Christmas time, him and his lovely wife were watching it, and I was in another room doing some other stuff, and I could hear when you can hear a movie but you can't see it?
Yes.
It was weird, and it was a bit disturbing because there was lots of screaming, and I could tell people were being like disemboweled and stuff. Well, that's what it sounded like. Maybe they just didn't like the Macca's burger they got.
No, I've no doubt somebody was being disemboweled.
And it made me feel a bit odd, actually, without seeing it. I thought, I don't want to see that, actually, now that I've heard it. Yeah, so I just... no, I wouldn't be rushing to watch that one, to be honest, based on what I heard.
So blood and guts is not so much your thing?
I wouldn't watch it just for that. Like, if there was an epic storyline and some great intrigue and some awesome action, a bit of blood and guts is fine as part of all of that. But if it's overplayed, then I'm like, yeah, no, this is just playing to a fixation on that, I think. I like
okay, so I don't love the blood and guts in so far as I would watch a movie for that because I hate horror movies. I cannot stand horror movies. But I do enjoy the cinematic aspect in which he shoots his movies. I always enjoy those very much. I usually enjoy the script. I haven't watched this particular movie, although I love Django. That was one of my most favourites ever. They're my bag. I really enjoy them. That said, I don't necessarily go out of my way to look or watch movies that involve a lot of blood and guts, and I prefer them to be unrealistically stupid rather than real looking. I don't like particularly real looking. I think if there's stupid amounts of blood or stupid amounts of guts, I can disassociate, so it doesn't matter because I know it's make-believe and it's silly. When a movie is particularly real, I do struggle a little. No, I don't go looking for it, but I don't mind it. Certainly don't shy away. But a good action movie with an interesting storyline like the Matrix series has me intrigued. I love it. Really enjoy it.
I'm with you on
I like a movie you got to think in.
Yeah, I like that whole the message behind the message thing.
Yeah, something you're not just observing, you're on the journey because you're trying to figure it out.
Yes, makes me think because I don't do much of that normally.
I know, but it's so different thinking. You're not thinking about work or family or obligations. You're thinking about what is with the white rabbit.
I had a client once that used the white rabbit as an analogy for getting results in life, actually.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, I won't tell you what he said he was going to do to the white rabbit if he ever caught it. But it became a bit of a sort of serious joke between us about where he was in his journey towards getting results in life. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
That's interesting.
Just in case he's listening. I don't want to out him.
Hello, if you are.
Yeah. Anyway, you're the oracle today, Coxie. So
I am on this fine Thursday. Hang on, what's the date today? The 23rd. Fine Thursday, the 23rd. I don't know how many lots numbered TradieRonaCast. We've come to you again 2 days in a row. We didn't forget.
That's an achievement for us at the moment.
It is a bit. We're a little overwhelmed with a bit on our plates, but no, we're here.
We smashed out 13, 15, 16. We smashed out 20 in a row, Coxie.
Hey, that's super impressive.
Can you believe that? We started doing this on April the 3rd, the daily TradieRonaCasts.
I'm a bit blown away by that. My calendar doesn't even go back that far because I wipe it out every week and move it up.
And this is like the 10th one, barring the day we missed. The 20th one or something like that. So anyway, way back at the start of April, we kicked this off.
That's impressive.
And so here we are on the 23rd, coming at you about horror films, blood and guts, and white rabbit catching.
Which has got nothing to do with tradies. I'm sure there's a segue. Come on, I'm going to give you some thinking time. You think about how you can segue this into your business, and I'm going to say how awesome it is that you're still joining us every day. I still can't believe it. It's fantastic. We've had some great feedback, still no reviews, but some really good feedback on how important this is at this time to recenter particularly some of our higher level members that are used to us being in their ear holes in one form or another on a daily basis. But they're really loving the podcast because we do talk about some general stuff, but we also talk about business stuff. And then we just rabbit on with rubbish like I just have for the last 30 seconds or so trying to give Warwick some brain space. Did you come up with the segue?
No. I was going to say about the white rabbit thing, that I had an interesting, insight or realization a bunch of years ago now. I was listening to a podcast, which I don't do very often actually, and because then other people get in my head, and it's bad enough with me in my head. That's scary enough, but when there's me plus a bunch of other people. But it was talking about motivations for doing things, and I suppose some of us might be feeling a little less motivated these days with the Rona.
Just a little.
And searching for ways to get that motivation back. And this particular podcast I was listening to was talking about that and how we sort of place this negative connotation on people being motivated out of things other than what we should be. You know, we should be motivated because we want to be our best. And we want to set a good example for our family and our community. And we want to improve the world. They're all really good things to be motivated about. But sometimes we want to get results because we just want to prove someone wrong that said, you're shit, you're never going to amount to anything. Or because we're just angry and we just want to do it just so we can get it done and feel like we've done something that we did or had control over or whatever. And there's a lot of sort of putting down of those driving forces behind motivation, behind action. And this particular person was saying that, you know what, whatever the reason is you want to get off your ass and get something done, use it. If it's because your dad told you you'd never amount to anything and you want to prove him wrong, do it for that reason.
I actually agree with this sentiment and had a very similar conversation yesterday afternoon.
That's 2 episodes in a row, Coxie.
In a row. And I strongly agree with you on this one. I had a conversation yesterday. Regular listeners will know that one of the boys in our family graduated school last year, and he's now working in a sales position in a trade-based store and is loving it. Absolutely loving it. He's going to kill me when he listens to this episode, if he actually listens. But
yeah,
he's loving it. And it just so happens that his employer lives next door to us. And it came through her experience of said son working with said husband in her house and found him to be a conscientious worker, let's say it that way, which basically meant the builder was riding his ass and he got his job done and he smiled while he was doing it. But that led to a conversation where she asked, well, what are you doing now? And at the time he thought he wanted to be an electrician, so knew he was never going to be an electrician. It's not his bag. And then he said, but what I actually really like is a job in sales. And she said, well, fancy you say that. I'm looking for somebody, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, he's now been there for 4 months and is doing incredibly well and he's growing every day within himself. It's amazing to watch. But his boss dropped around yesterday afternoon whilst said child, almost said his name, he'll kill me, said child was still at work and wanted to have a chat. And I'm thinking, oh, gosh, here's that chat where we're going to have to put him off because the sales have dropped so low, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't. It was the complete opposite. It was the chat to say he'll be the last one off. I cannot believe his work ethic. He is motivated and keen and ready to go. And I had a really interesting conversation to say, you know what, 12 months ago, that was not my boy. He was struggling. And you, Warwick, you're very aware of his journey. He's had some very difficult and troubling times. So to get that kind of feedback is mind-blowing, but I am seeing it on a day-to-day basis as a parent. But more so, we went on then to talk about sales and the value of a position in sales as a career rather than just seen as a job, which in many of the conversations we're having with other people, they see it as a job. Whereas for this son, it's very much going to be his career path. And she said, well, what's his motivation? Why do you think that he likes the idea of sales? And I said, quite frankly, it's just money. My son wants to be rich. He likes the brands. He likes the stuff. He's quite into all of those things that he thinks have an external impact on the way he presents to the community. And that's his big motivator at the moment. And we had a giggle and we both agreed, actually, there's nothing wrong with that, especially at his very tender age of 17. That's not a bad motivation to get you out of bed, to be at work on time, to be pushing all the way through the day, to ensure that your sales are going through, learning all the while. So to take that back, I'm going to chuck Norris back because he can go backwards, not just forwards, sometimes sideways.
That's interesting.
I do think it doesn't really matter what the motivation is to be successful or to complete a job on time or to work hard at a thing. It doesn't matter if it's because somebody put you down or didn't believe in you or whether you need more money in the bank or you want to go on a nice holiday or you want to prove to your community that you're an upstanding citizen. It doesn't matter what the motivation is. Getting the job done, doing it well, moving forward and feeling good about yourself is really the motivator.
So what's all this got to do with White Rabbits and the Matrix?
Because you started talking about the motivation for getting out the door every day.
So
I don't know. How do our conversations ever start and end?
So what does it all mean, Oracle?
I need to go and stare at my navel for a little bit longer and figure it out.
There is no spoon. I think it all loops around to the fact that the way we see things is not necessarily what's true. It's like
I agree.
A lot of people talk about, you should be motivated for all these positive reasons. It's like, well, that's their perspective. That's the way they see it. And I guess talking about movies, you like Tarantino films. I don't. We both like The Matrix, and you probably love The Sound of Music. But
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'll burst that bubble.
Does anybody?
Quick. Nope. Nope.
But it's we all see things differently, and ultimately it doesn't really matter. I think what matters is that we're clear on what we want, where we want to get to with it, and the means justifies the end or something. Is that the right way to say it, Oracle?
I think so. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, son.
I reckon we've successfully confused the crap out of everybody today, more so than normal. So apologies for that on Fist Day.
On Fist Day, Thursday?
Yes, it's an acronym, Oracle.
Okay. All right. You better enlighten me, son.
So the first one is exactly what you think it would be, and we've I've typed clean in the box for today's episode already, so I think we should keep it clean.
Yes.
So the first one is not fire truck.
Yes.
It's still Thursday. Fist.
Oh, I like that.
Fist day.
I've never heard that before.
Because Wednesday's hump day. Yesterday was hump day. That's
It was.
pretty standard. And then tomorrow is Poets' Day.
Poets' Day. Come on, give me this one now.
Oh, gee, I'm educating the Oracle. This is exciting.
You are. I know.
Poets, piss off early. Tomorrow's Saturday.
Now you've made it explicit.
No, piss is okay. I think
like
iTunes
it.
will let that one through.
I'm going to use these all of the time. You've educated the Oracle. Look out.
Oh my gosh. And you've agreed with me 2 episodes in a row.
I'm going to agree with you further and say that one of my biggest statements that I make, particularly when talking to women, because women are, actually I think we're all victim to this, but women are particularly good at the old comparison game and the imposter syndrome. And one thing I like to talk about a lot is determining your own success, because my success to me looks very different to what your success looks and feels like for you, and success for my neighbor or my friend around the corner or whomever it might be. Their version of success is very different to my own. And it's okay to put your own parameters in place and be okay with where you're at. I'm talking like an oracle.
Jeez, that was deep.
It was deep, but it's true, right? And I think so much of the feedback we're getting at the moment is everybody feels a little like crap because they're struggling to not keep afloat, because overwhelmingly most of our members, etc., are still doing extremely well in business, but they're struggling to keep on top of the stuff.
Yeah.
Because life's gotten so busy with kids at home and trying to work from home and keep up with all of the notifications and put things in place and blah, 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 blah. So I think overwhelmingly what we're seeing is people feeling like they're just treading water when they are actually moving forward in leaps and bounds. They just don't understand the 10 things they did instead of the one thing they thought they needed to do. So now's probably a good time to redefine what your version of success is, and that may be getting through the day without putting your child outside on the veranda, or it might be that you got through your email inbox, or it might be that you ticked one thing off your to-do list, and that's okay. Today, that's success for me, and I'm all right with that.
So, Oracle.
Yes.
What is the Matrix?
I don't have an answer for that. You need to discover that on your own journey.
That movie's been doing my head in for 10 years or whenever it was released.
Do you think you'll ever actually figure it out?
I think I've decided on what it means to me.
Oh.
Ooh. And with
Can
that,
you share?
well,
Grasshopper.
Yeah. To me, it's there's a few things. And I've watched that movie. I'm not a watch a movie again kind of guy. Once I've watched a movie once, because I have a stupid good memory, I can't watch it again because I know everything's going to happen, and it just kind of ruins it. But The Matrix is one of those movies that I've watched multiple times, the whole series, and each time I watch it, I get a little different insight perhaps into my thinking and how I'm viewing what the message might have been with a particular scene or the names of people in the movie. But
yeah,
to me,
it is one of those movies.
Broadly, it seems like a bit of a commentary on the human race and, the modern term is being woke,
yes.
and whether we're all plugged into the system or not, literally. And I think, you know what? I'm going to go watch that movie again because post-COVID, holy crap, I reckon there'll be some brain explosions watching The Matrix now.
Oh, gosh, I think there could be. And do you think that the writers of the movie in the first place understood the depth at which they were writing and how long it would keep us all perplexed?
I reckon the Wachowski brothers, who are the writers of that, I reckon they do. I reckon those guys think on a different wavelength to the rest of us. But yeah, you know, just some of the lines from the movie that Agent Smith says about humans being the virus. We're like a virus.
Oh.
And it's like...
Now we're all going to spend the weekend watching this movie or this series of movies.
I'll have to send my bank details so they can deposit the royalties to our account.
That would be fair.
But, you know, it's I think it's what we've been talking about. You know, we all see through our own lens. And, I don't like all of Tarantino's films.
Thank you for enlightening me.
But I think the Matrix is a bit of a metaphor for the human race and the system that we're all plugged into. And then I think there's some sort of subliminal stuff through there as well. But I'll chat to you about that over a virtual drink one day.
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe on Poets' Day.
There you are. We'll have a drink on Poets' Day and recite.
We'll talk about movies. Come and join us for a drink, and let's talk about movies and what they mean. You know, the meaning we've taken out of some movies.
What a great idea!
Yeah, let's have a theme for our tradie happy hour tomorrow at 4:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time.
You've been listening to the Tradies in Business podcast with Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Find out more about today's guest, tools for your trade business, and other cool stuff at tradiesinbusiness.com.au.